What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and we're hearing that President Joe Biden better pass some forced stimulus checks or some legislation, executive orders, executive action soon, or else. This is your breaking news, Build Back Better, stimulus package, and stimulus check update. Now, we're hearing, take a look at some of the headlines coming out. Biden's approval rating falls to its lowest of his presidency. Right now, it says that Biden's plummeting approval rating spells doom for the Democrats. As I've reported to you here on the channel, this is a midterm election year, and if they don't get something done very soon, we're hearing it's very likely in 2022, there is going to be a red wave that hits Congress, and it will become a Republican House and Senate, and we'll have a Democratic president. So they will likely try to block any of his agenda items from getting through, as he won't have any support in Congress. In addition to that, sinking faster than the Titanic. Biden in a free fall as approval ratings hit their worst yet. Biden's approval rating is at 34%. Historically low faith in the economy, and just to let you know, the lowest that we have ever seen in U.S. history for a president is 32% with Truman. So that is almost the lowest approval rating we have had in history. Poll: Trump leads Biden. Harris in 2024 matchup, they said. So right now, we could be seeing a red wave in Congress, and then it's very likely in 2024, former President Donald Trump will once again become President Donald Trump. As a matter of fact, if Kamala Harris faced Donald Trump in 2024, it would not be pretty. Polls are saying, as of today, and Trump would beat Biden by 6 points, Harris by 11 in the 2024 race, new polls are showing. So they're saying President Joe Biden, he has got to do something. Stimulus checks, stimulus package, executive actions, orders, and they're saying he needs to focus on domestic agenda items, no foreign policy issues, a lot of the stuff with the infrastructure and things like that. They're saying he needs to focus on helping out the American people. As we're hearing, I just shared with you in my last video, that in the month of March, Americans' number one concern is increased gas prices, costs of living, inflation, and taking care of people here at home. And they're saying one of the big solutions to that would be to provide additional stimulus checks to get people's support to keep Democrats in power. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, you guys. Do you think that that would help out, or is it too little too late at this point? Do you think a red wave is coming? Do you think that former President Donald Trump will once again become the President of the United States? And if that matchup came today, would you vote in favor of Joe Biden or Donald Trump? We're hearing that the majority of Americans right now are saying Donald Trump. Now, I've got some video footage to share with you. This just came out from The Hill. We're going to be taking a look at it just to let you know. They're going to be sharing some very polarized opinions, but if you just hang on through the video, you'll hear they're just reading off the different stances, not sharing their own, but you'll see here in a little bit, you guys. So let's take a look. They're going to be breaking it down for us, and let's dive right in. Now, before we do, though, if you could do me a quick favor, don't forget, smash the like button if you appreciate the updates, keeping you up to speed on everything going on. Also, leave your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I know there are a lot of varying opinions across the board on this one. Here on the channel, I keep it very neutral. I don't go one way or the other. I welcome everybody. So we've got Republicans, we've got Democrats. Also, if you want to stay up to date, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. I'll just keep you up to speed on the facts, everything that's coming out. And if you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of directly. All you got to do is hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3, and also consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in and take a look at this video footage. As we're hearing right now, Joe Biden and Democrats are in trouble if they don't get something done right away to help out the American people, and it looks like a red wave might be on the horizon. Let's go ahead and take a look.
What's on your radar, Kim?
Well, it's bad news for Biden. A new poll released exclusively on The Hill shows if the presidential election were held today, Trump would beat Biden and would once again occupy the White House. The Harvard Caps Harris poll shows Trump getting 47% support compared to Biden's 41%, with 12% undecided. Mark Penn, the co-director of the Harvard Caps Harris poll survey, said this has more to do with Biden being disliked than Trump being loved. Could you imagine being so disliked that over you, voters prefer the guy who lied about his inauguration crowd size, tried to ban TikTok, grabbed them by the locked kids in cages, ripped children away from their parents at the border, called far-right protesters very fine people, imposed the Muslim travel ban, wouldn't show us his tax returns, denied Russian meddling in the election, called political opponents names like Pocahontas, tried to buy Greenland, called John McCain a loser, withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement, called certain countries holes, blamed Ukraine and not Russia for election meddling, sprayed Black Lives Matters protesters with tear gas for a photo op, denied the election results, led the charge to put 5 teenagers to death, questioned Obama's birthplace, paid off a porn star and a Playboy model, called Mexican immigrants rapists and murderers, told Proud Boys to stand down and stand by, wrote love letters to Kim Jong-un, told Russia if they were listening to hack Hillary's emails, called COVID the China virus, held super spreader events during the height of the pandemic, deported 59,000 Haitians with protective status, used ICE as his personal Gestapo to break up families, mocked a disabled reporter, obstructed the Mueller investigation, pardoned his pals, pressured Zelensky to investigate the Bidens, incited an insurrection, was impeached twice, and according to the Post, lied 30,573 times. Could you imagine that guy being more popular than you? Now, just to be clear, I don't believe all of the things on this list. Some are true, some are exaggerated or taken out of context. And these were just a few of the many things we were fed over and over about Trump during the 4 years of his presidency. The news media hasn't, under any stretch of the imagination, given Joe Biden the same treatment they gave Trump. Though there is much to investigate and criticize Biden for, the news media largely ignores it. And yet, the voters, according to this poll, would still choose Trump over Biden. Now, what does this tell us? It tells us most people don't care about the morals or character of the president in office as much as they care about the economy. Mean tweets, name calling, lacking the typical political polish doesn't mean as much to people as their bank accounts. All of the controversy surrounding Trump was good for keeping eyeballs glued to the news, which was certainly good for their bank accounts. But the scandals Beltway insiders were clutching their pearls over didn't actually affect people in their day-to-day lives. For the most part, reading about Trump's antics was no different than people reading gossip in tabloids. It was shocking, made people upset, but when they went home, their lives were largely unaffected. In fact, under Trump, not necessarily because of anything he did or didn't do in particular, but up until the pandemic, people were doing better economically than they had been for a while. Now, with inflation out of control, people are paying significant increases for things like bread, meat, vegetables, used cars, and of course, gasoline. Rent is increasing. Student loan interest payments are about to start up again. People are going back to work. Kids are back in school. But with gasoline so high, the commute costs are stressing families out. The liberal media keeps telling us the economy is booming. It's growing at its fastest rate since 1987, with unemployment down and job growth up. But it just feels like the latest round of gaslighting. Americans are poorer today than they were yesterday, and they're letting the president know by giving him his lowest approval ratings yet, according to the latest NBC News poll. And they're even signaling they'd rather put up with foul-mouthed Trump than suffer another day worrying about their financial future, according to this latest Harvard Caps Harris poll. Now, what can Biden do about it? Well, stop relying on old tricks. They're no longer working. This war in Ukraine, for example, is not uniting Americans the way wars did in the past. People are not rallying around the flag, especially since the flag we're being asked to rally around, in this case, isn't even the Stars and Stripes. Since 2016, voters have been begging the administrations to focus on America and Americans' needs rather than dumping our money on foreign soil and endlessly increasing the defense budget. Americans want the government to govern in a way that benefits the middle class rather than their corporate donors. So focus on that. If Biden wants to win back Americans, he needs to ignore the outraged news media feeding Americans a steady diet of moral panic. He needs to ignore the questions coming in from the press corps whose sole job is to get clickbait headline material to keep their papers in business. The press is in a bubble, and it swallows up politicians and distracts them from doing their jobs, which is helping Americans live better lives. Instead, they've sucked them into thinking what Americans care about most is Trump's latest mean tweet and which carcass Putin is eating for breakfast. Americans care about their kids, their bank accounts, retirement, whether or not their rent is going to go up, how they're going to care for their aging parents, and when they're going to get out of the rat race of living paycheck to paycheck. If Biden wants his numbers to go up, he needs to focus 100% of his attention on Americans and the quality of the average American's life. So what do you guys think? Are we going to get Trump back in office? Is Biden going to learn the American people want solutions for our American lives? Or are we going to get Trump in 2024?
If it's those two choices, I think we're going to get Trump in 2024. But Biden's problem is how much can he do? Ryan talks a lot about how his troubles to actually get his agenda through Congress, right? Yeah. Some of that is a problem he wishes he didn't face, but he does face.
Man, so there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And let me know, would you vote for Trump or Biden? Did you vote for Joe Biden, and have you changed your opinion now because of the way everything has unfolded? We're hearing that it is likely going to be Donald Trump against Joe Biden in 2024. And they said all other Republican candidates do not match up as well as Trump does. And so it is likely going to be him running again in 2024. And we'll see if Biden is able to get some stuff done, because if he does not, this election year is going to be the main pivotal point, because right now Democrats are in full control. They're having trouble getting things done in full control. And if things switch to the Republican Party, it's going to be even harder for Biden to get through his agenda items. And it's likely Republicans will block him along the way. His approval rating might even go down further. And then it is very likely that whoever runs against him in 2024 will have a good shot at taking the presidency. So we will see, you guys. And again, we'll see if Biden is able to pull any tricks out of the hat, some executive orders, actions, legislation, stimulus checks to help convince people to keep them in power. Let me know your thoughts, you guys, but that is the latest. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget to take a quick second, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate it. Leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. If you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, and consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. More content coming in the month of April. But with that being said, you guys, thank you once again, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.